So you want to make sure that all of the pages of your website are being indexed by Google. Why? Because pages that are not indexed can't rank on search results. So every single page that you want to rank for should be getting indexed by Google. So how can you check if your website and individual pages are being indexed? Let me show you. So first, we'll do the manual way. I'm going to minimize myself, and then let's jump over to the browser. And you just type in site, colon, and your domain. In this case, I'm going to do catlinks.io. And it's going to show me a list of all of the pages that are being indexed by Google. Here you can see them all, and you can identify which ones are there and maybe see if some are not. That's one way to do it. The other way is to do it per page. So for example, I want to see if the pricing page for cat links is being indexed or not. So all I have to do is same thing, site, colon, and the full URL of the page in question. And that's what it'll show you. Of course, the page is ranked. So that's what you're going to be seeing in the results. That means that it's indexed. All right. So what will you see if a page is not indexed? Let me make some URL up. So let's do add a 101 here. So pricing 101. That page doesn't exist, so it shouldn't be indexed. And this is what you're going to see. Your search for this did not match any documents. That means that the page in question is not being indexed, right? So the other way to find if your pages are being indexed or not is within Google Search Console. So if you don't have a Google Search Console account, go create it at your website. But if you do, go log into your Google Search Console, and then on the left side menu, you're going to find under the index category, the coverage option, which is going to show you what you see here on my screen. It's going to show you which pages are presenting errors, valid with warnings, valid, or that have been excluded. This is the one that we care about. So let's click here. Oh, before that. So on the top, you have some drop-down options, which what do you want to see? All known pages to Google, of course. All submitted pages, which are pages that are found in your index, on your sitemap, and that you have submitted through this little inspect form or field on the top. And also you can filter it down per sitemap in case you have several sitemaps here on Google Search Console. But for now, let's keep it on all known pages to Google. Once you have that, click here on excluded. And what's going to happen here is that you're going to see which pages have not been indexed by Google or have been excluded and the reason. So for example, 12 pages have been excluded because they were not found. I need to look into that. Some have no index tag, which this is normal, canonical tags, but the one you want to be in the lookout for is pages that have been crawled but are currently not indexed. So if you click here, you're going to see a list of links or URLs or pages that are not being indexed by Google. In this case, if you can see my list here, most of them end with feed. That means that it's a feed from my blog. So if you use WordPress, most of the blogs and custom post types generate feeds so Google can read them. But Google doesn't index those pages because those are not really pages, right? So Google will just ignore them. But just go through the list and make sure that you don't have some pages that should be indexed but are not being indexed, all right? So that's really important. So what do you do if you find a page that is not being indexed but you want it to be indexed? Well, one of the best things you can do is just ask Google to index it. So I'm going to copy here this one. Oh, there it is. I'm going to copy this URL and I'll show you what you need to do. So once you have the URL copied, go over to inspect. And let me show you first how it is when it is indexed. So I'm going to choose the pricing page, which we already tested, remember? So when you select a page that has been indexed, you're going to see this. URL is on Google. And if you changed anything on the page, you can request indexing again. But what happens or what do you see when you have a page that hasn't been indexed? So I'm just going to put this. It's not indexed. We know that it's not indexed. It's a feed page, but just so you can see it. So when you do that, it's going to tell you this. URL is not on Google. This page is not in the index, but not because of an error, blah, blah, blah. And then it gives you more information about the page. And at the end, you can request the indexing of this page. That's all you have to do, right? So if you find pages that are not indexed, make sure that they are indexed. If they are like really new pages, it's normal that they don't get indexed yet because Google has to find them when it's crawling the website. But this is a way to accelerate that. Just inspect the URL and request an indexing. might be a little faster than waiting for Google to pick it up by itself, right? So this way you can make sure that all of your pages are indexed in Google. So go do that right now. Go review your website, make sure that every single page that it's important to you and that you want it to rank is being indexed. If not, submit it to Google so they can index it again, right?